I was once the most famous simp in school. For the sake of a girl, I gave up my studies, my health, and almost died from obsession. But in this second life, I decided to live for myself. Yeah, when I decided to stop being a simp, the school beauty who once broke my heart suddenly panicked. She started chasing me. From simp to comeback, just how far can I go? Alex G put on his raincoat and pedaled quickly toward Kristen G's house. It was June, and even though it was raining, the air had no hint of coolness. Alex G's leg muscles were tight, and the bike chain, which hadn't been oiled in a while, made a loud squeaky sound. Snap! As luck would have it, just as he passed an intersection, the bike chain finally gave way and snapped under the pressure. Damn, Alex Z muttered under his breath, stopping the bike on the side of the road and beginning to fix the chain. After riding a bike for 3 years, he was already well versed in fixing chains. About 10 minutes later, the chain was fixed, and Alex E continued his journey. To prevent the chain from snapping again, he stopped at a bike repair shop and had them apply some lubricant. When the repairman heard Alex Z was heading to the college entrance exam, he didn't charge him anything. Xiangyang Village, the entire village was made up of simple mud houses. Nearby, there was a garbage dump where waste from the county was temporarily placed, with no professional team handling it yet. The smell was overwhelming, making one feel nauseous. In a modest 30-square-meter house, Kristen G was sitting beside the bed, feeding her grandmother some porridge. The room was basic, but it kept them sheltered from the elements, and it was very clean. Kristen, a woman dressed in patched clothes, stepped inside. Aunt Cindy, what brings you here? Kristen gently placed her grandmother back down and asked. We've managed to gather a little money. Since your exam is coming up, you should have something good to eat. And Cindy pulled out a crumpled wad of small bills from her pocket, most of them 1 or 2 yuan bills, with very few 5 or 10 yuan bills. Kristen G quickly shook her head. No, I can't accept your money anymore. Her parents worked in another province, but they hadn't come back into years and hadn't sent any money. All her high school expenses had been covered by the neighbors. Aunt Cindy forcefully shoved the small change into Kristen G's hand, her calloused hands gripping her rough little hand. Don't be silly, you're the hope of our village. Study well for the exam. I'll take care of your grandmother these next few days. Kristen G was born and raised in Xiangyang Village. When her grandmother was younger, she had helped many villagers. But after suffering a stroke and becoming paralyzed, her children abandoned her. The responsibility fell entirely on Kristen Jung's shoulders. The kind-hearted villagers had stepped in to care for them both. Kristen G's eyes turned red, and she lowered her head, tears streaming down her face. Her voice choked as she said, Thank you, Aunt Cindy, and please thank everyone for me. I won't let you all down. She had been working hard these days. She had to get into college to repay the villagers' kindness. All right, it's getting late. Hurry up and head to the school. Aunt Cindy, worried that Kristen G would miss the exam, urged her on. Okay, thank you for helping take care of Grandma. Kristen G usually woke up early and then walked nearly 2 hours to school. But this morning, her grandmother wasn't feeling well, so she went to the nearby village clinic to buy some medicine, which delayed her. Now walking to the exam venue was unrealistic. Only a taxi could get her there in time. She packed her bag, freshened up, tidied her hair, and hurried out with an umbrella. Xiangyang Village was located along the county road. So many taxis passed by. To save some money, Kristen G decided to wait for the bus. The bus to the school only cost 1 yuan. However, after 10 minutes, no bus had passed by. Just then, a black sedan pulled up next to Kristen G. Little girl, you're heading to the college entrance exam, right? The driver was a chubby man wearing sunglasses. Kristen G looked at the driver warily and nodded timidly. Then get in. I'll take you to the exam venue for just 1 yuan. Only exam candidates get this benefit. The chubby man pushed his glasses up on his nose, flashing a friendly smile. Kristen G shook her head. I'll wait a little longer. If it had been a taxi, she might have gotten in. But this was a private car. And she didn't dare to get in one like this. Thunder. A loud crack of thunder echoed through the sky. Kristen jumped in fear. The chubby driver continued. Come on, hurry up and get in. Uncle isn't a bad person. It's about to rain heavily, and you wouldn't want to miss the exam, would you? Kristen G looked around, noticing that there weren't many cars on the road. The college entrance exam wouldn't wait for anyone. If she missed it, she would be letting down all the villagers' expectations. After a moment of hesitation, she reached for the car door handle. Kristen G! Just then, a bicycle sped toward her from the direction of the county town. What's taking so long? Are you still planning to take the exam? If you're not getting in, I'm leaving. The chubby driver urged impatiently. Hi, I have a classmate coming to meet me. Kristen G spoke timidly. It sounded like Alex C, but it was a bit far, so she wasn't sure. The chubby driver's eyes behind his sunglasses flickered slightly. He got out of the car and walked around to Kristen G's side. Kristen G immediately became alert, slightly turning her body to avoid the chubby man's large hand. You! What are you doing? Kristen G's face turned pale as she looked at him furtively. Get in the car, the chubby man spoke in a low tone, stepping forward and grabbing Kristen G's arm. Dim, let her go. Alex's eyes widened in anger, his feet moving so fast they left after images behind. The chubby driver opened the card and pushed Kristen G, muttering, I told you, Uncle isn't a bad person. I'm providing a service, taking you to the exam for a cheap price. The chubby man slammed the car door shut. Kristen G was terrified, banging on the window, screaming, let me out, help. The chubby driver climbed into the driver's seat, pulled out a shiny knife from under the seat, and spoke in a low voice, shut up. If you scream again, I'll stab you. Kristen G immediately went silent, her body trembling uncontrollably. At that moment, Alex Z's bicycle crashed into the front of the sedan. Holding a brick that he had prepared earlier, he shouted at the chubby driver, get out of the car, get out. The chubby man's face darkened, and he leaned out of the window, shouting, little brat, get lost, or I'll run you over. He pressed the accelerator hard and then released it. The car roared like a beast. Alex Z struck the chubby driver hard in the forehead with the brick. The driver was stunned, dazed from the hit. Damn it! The chubby driver shook his head to clear his dizziness, then shifted into gear, pressing the gas pedal and charging toward Alex Z. Alex Z turned and smashed the brick into the windshield with all his might. The windshield shattered into a million pieces. With his vision impaired, the chubby driver was enraged, pulling out the knife and getting out of the car. Alex! Run! Kristen G's face turned pale as paper, her mind in a state of chaos. Alex Z saw the knife in the chubby man's hand and felt a pang of fear. In this era, even the county town wasn't fully covered by surveillance, let alone the rural outskirts. But this was the first meaningful thing Alex Z had done since his rebirth. He had to save Kristen G. I've already called the police. You still have time to leave. Alex E stepped back, holding the brake. The chubby driver was a ruthless man, and he lunged at Alex Z with the knife in hand.